right, so we're here at the Real Abilities Film Festival 2026, and we have the star, one of the stars of the evening, RJ Mitte. You may know him from Breaking Bad, but tonight he's here because he's in one of the amazing films of the festival, which is West Hampton. Hello, RJ.
Hello, such a pleasure to be here today.
Wonderful to meet you, huge fan. I just got to know, West Hampton, for those of us who do not know, give us the log line and let me know how you got involved in the film.
Yeah, well, I got involved in the film actually in around 2017. We shot in, I guess it would be like 2024, 2025 this past year. And I read the script and I really liked how they portrayed one of the characters who's a wheelchair user. And I thought it was very well written in a way where it wasn't about the disability, and it was just about being and living a life. And when you watch the film, there's tones of not just the physical aspect of that, but mental aspects. And the character that Finn Whitrock, who actually stars in the film, goes through of this kind of rejection and learning to be accepted and having these elements of life that just he couldn't control, but he's blamed for. And him trying to find his own redemption in himself, and I think many people are struggling with that, especially nowadays.
I think the film also, clearly it touches on trauma and how trauma impacts your mental health, and then your character, you have a disability, but the character is not defined by that disability, which is always refreshing to see, on screen.
That's my number one role. Like, I do my best when I pick my roles that if they do happen to have disabilities, and of course any role I do, I have cerebral palsy, so they kind of all have disabilities, but that they're not governed by it. It's not what defines them, it's not what drives them, it's just part of who they are. And I think my character, I actually play a happy character. My character is like a happy-go-lucky guy, and normally I'm a brooding, kind of miserable SOB,
Yeah, you're definitely the guy who's bringing the party, inviting somebody to a party. A little bit of a troublemaker, quite frankly.
Hey, I don't want to give too much away, but we had a great time on the film. And we were talking a little bit earlier, our team that created West Hampton, Christopher Nielsen and everyone behind him, really, this is a local film. This is a local New York film. We shot in the Hamptons, the Long Island, and the community rallied behind it. Everyone really supported it, and it was all hands on deck, all day, every day. We didn't have a big budget, and we had belief, and we had that we loved this story, and everything you saw shot, it just worked out so beautifully. And it's hard because there's a movie within this movie.
Yes,
yeah. So it's literally a guy making a movie that made a movie that's successful about that movie, that guy's movie, and
a little meta.
It's very meta. It's very meta. But there's people that people trying to make movies inside of things or music inside of music, and it doesn't always work. And I feel that this. So I don't watch any of my work. So I've never seen it.
One of those actors, okay.
Yeah. I've never watched Breaking Bad, so it's just not. I just can't. If I'm in it or if I'm too close to it, I can't change what I want to change. It's done.
It's done. So you just might as well not even look at it.
Can't look at it. Can't change it. And I feel though what I've seen from this movie, shooting it. It really does it well, and it was very well written. That it wasn't contrived, and it was just this journey and this story and a deep reflection and that's a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, well, you mentioned Breaking Bad, so we do have to talk about it, even though you've never seen the show. One of 5 people who's never seen Breaking Bad. But what I do want to talk about is how representation has changed over the years, because Breaking Bad, that's like 10, 15 years ago now. You were 20 years ago. Goodness gracious. You're a much younger man, new to the industry. You're now in a position where you can, I don't want to say everybody can pick and choose the roles, but you can have a little bit probably more discretion on the type of character that you play. you have some ideas where you can write things and be on the producing side. How have you seen the industry change for disability representation over the past 20 years?
I think as far as how representation in media has changed, I remember it was one of my first real ability festivals was in 2014, 2015, and look where we are today.
Yeah.
And it's a testament that we have had positive change. There's been massive growth in media and inclusion aspects and just more willingness to take that risk. And I believe, we will always have a long way to go. Our humanity, sadly, we're not known for fair, equitable existences. It's just part of life. But I do believe that every day that goes by, that more artists emerge, that more creators are showing content, that more people are telling their stories and bringing more awareness to silent problems and silent issues, that it is growing in a very positive way. We can look at the negatives, but negativity, I find, if we live in that, we only live in that. And I always do my best to wherever I go, to wherever I meet, it's positive engagement, it's getting out there, it's making that difference. It's not being defined by all the negativity, but be defined by the actions and the positivity and how you implement your roles and how you create your stories. And regardless of how hard it may be and how impossible it can be, to always look to the better future, always look to being and doing and growing. And no matter what challenge that we face, don't accept it. Because when we accept those challenges, when we accept that failure and that disparity, it never leaves us. And I think now we have a world where anyone can be anything, but you have to have the mentality for it, and you have to not let other people's definition of who you are define you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so well said. So well said, and absolutely the way I believe in living. So thank you for being an example, and thank you for coming to Real Abilities and sharing your film.
So much.
All right.
It's an honor to be here.
Wonderful to meet you. Thank you.